Okay, so I want one final levels adjustment layer here, and I want to use that to actually lighten the side of this building, so we've got a little more detail in there. I'm going to attack this in exactly the same way. Again, another levels adjustment layer. Make sure that the preview box is checked so the results actually show in the image. I'm going to begin with the gamma slider on this layer. I'm actually going to drag that to the right to lighten this area. Again, ignore everything else that's going on in these other areas. We're simply concentrating on the side of the building there. Let's just crank up the white point a little so everything becomes nice and visible here, and then we can maybe even reduce the gamma slider a bit more. It's really a case of doing this completely visually, and we can get a good hint at how things are coming on simply by clicking the preview checkbox on and off. Want lots of nice detail in the side of the building here and in some of these support struts, so I think that will be fine. Again, here I now want to fill the layer mask for this adjustment layer with black, so I'll choose black for contents and click OK. Let's grab our paintbrush tool again. I'm going to choose a relatively soft brush and just increase the size a bit. Actually, let's just zoom into this area a bit more and go back to the brush tool. I want to make sure that I'm using white as my foreground colour to actually paint onto the black mask with. I can now simply begin to paint over the side of this building to reveal the lightened version via the adjustment layer. I'm going to carefully paint down the edge here, and again paint under here, just so we show some nice tonality and detail. As I said, I also want to lighten a few of these support struts, and to do that I'm actually going to reduce the opacity of the brush to around about 50%. So we're just painting with partial opacity, and then I can simply come straight in here and paint over these areas. Like so, just to lighten things nicely. If you actually paint too far between these struts, we can simply reverse the background and foreground colours and paint back into the mask with black to hide that levels adjustment layer in the areas we don't want it to show. This is the great thing about layer masks, they are so versatile. We can paint with white into a layer mask to reveal the associated adjustment layer, or paint with black into the layer mask to hide the adjustment layer. Just want to check we've got things nice and sharp around here. You can actually view your layer masks in isolation. We can do that by hovering the pointer over the layer mask itself. We'll hold down the Alt key and we'll simply click to reveal the layer mask itself. At this stage we can see that there's some areas that I've missed here, and you can actually paint directly on the mask. Let me just increase the opacity of my brush to 100%, and I can simply paint directly on the mask to cover those small black areas up. To return to the normal editing mode, simply alt click the mask again. So you'll see there we've made a real difference to the various tonality of this image, and we're going to come back in the final part of the exercise, and we're going to clone out this this distant building, and then we'll finish off.